Hello and welcome to Slow Motion Broadcasting's second race with the American Muscle Series. But in their series, they are running Race 9 tonight. And Race 9 is around none other than Mount Panorama. Mount Panorama is a motor racing track located in Bathurst, makes sense, New South Wales, Australia. It's situated on Mount Panorama, also makes sense, and is best known for the home of the Bathurst 1000. The track is about 4 miles long. It's a street circuit, which is used as a public road when no racing events are being run, with many residences which can only be accessed from the circuit. The track has an unusual design by modern standards, with a 571-foot vertical difference between its highest and lowest points. We'll go through all of this for you guys tonight, with grades as steep as 1 to 6. The track can be viewed from 3 sections: the short pit straight, and then a tight left onto the turn, and then a tight left turn into the long, steep mountain straight. The tight, narrow section across the top of the mountain itself, and then the long downhill section of Conrod Straight, with the very fast chase and the turn back onto the pit straight itself to complete the lap. Historically, the racetrack has been used for a wide variety of racing categories, including everything from open-wheel racers to motorcycles. With tighter safety regulations and less tolerance of risk, motorcycle racing is no longer concluded at the circuit. An open-wheel race event did occur last year, actually, with an S5000 event. It was added as a support race for the Bathurst 1000. This is a Grade 3 track, so we're not going to see any F1 cars or anything going around here, but as a public road, they're only able to drive 37 miles an hour on here, and there are cops all over the place. So if you ever want to go out and run the Bathurst, run at Mount Panorama, you better make sure that you're watching yourself pretty closely, because there are cops everywhere. With that being said, I'm joined in the commentary booth by none other than Alex Anderson. My name is Adam Thompson, and we're glad to have you in tonight. Alex, how are you feeling for tonight's race here? Should be a doozy.
I'm honestly pretty excited for this race. Bathurst has always been a nice track to just drive and watch races on. It's always produces some great racing. I love watching cars fly through here, and especially with the guys in AMS. We're going to be watching some cars fly through here with tight racing. People are going to be all over the place trying to make moves, and I'm really excited to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, me too, man. So right now we're riding on board here with Iro Nam. He's coming out here with his first lap that you're about to see. He should be crossing the line here and about to start a flyer, but we do have a little bit of information on that. So the last season, the race for the lead was very similar to actually what we saw at Mosport last week, with Iro only being second fastest in practice. When they ran their practice race on Sunday, Luis Enriquez actually was half a tenth faster. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do, and stick around for after the race, because they are going to be gathering at the top of the hill to do the jump. So we're going to make sure to cover that as well. I'm definitely excited for that one.
Oh, I cannot wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
You see cars, they fly down that back straightaway into the little kink and then into a tight left right-hand corner. But if you go straight, you don't even turn, you just go straight. You go straight through a gravel trap, then up a little bit. I'm gonna call it a kick. It kicks you straight over that tire barrier and out onto the other side of the track. It's fantastic, and I can't wait to see him fly through there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to see how these guys get through all of this stuff. So we're going to actually, we do have an interview to conduct as well during qualifying. Brandon said he would do this while he was qualifying, so let's let him at least get one lap in. We're actually following on board right now with Brandon Carl, so let's let him get one lap in, then we'll drag him in. We've got about 5 minutes left in this qualifying session. It's actually showing a little longer than that, so let's let Brandon at least try to get a lap or two in, and then we'll try to get him in here.
Yeah, and Brandon Carl, obviously, I haven't seen much of the series. I wasn't here for last week's broadcast, but probably, as I looked at the broadcast, I think he would be my favorite going into this race. I don't want to give him a commentator's curse or anything, but I love seeing this guy throw his car around Canadian Tire last week on the replays. So I'm honestly rooting for him to do good this race. I don't know if he's going to win. I don't know what he's going to do, but I hope he can do something good here. I honestly want to see him do good this race.
Yeah, me too. So you guys are going to start seeing times pop up on the left side here on the timing tower. Right now, nobody has actually completed a lap, so that's why nothing's popping up. But everybody should be popping up here pretty quick. This is alone qualifying, so even though we can see all the cars, they can't see each other on track. So it makes it kind of confusing when you guys look down there and go, why has nobody run a lap yet? Well, that's why, because we can see all of the cars, but you guys cannot, or they cannot, I should say. So let's see. There we go. Ironam with the first lap time of 2:24.427. That's way off the pace. That was only their first lap, but you got to think, Alex, the fastest pro time was 2:23.131 in practice on Sunday.
Yeah, and I believe that was Luis that set that lap. But Ironam, he's one of the fastest guys out on track. If you watch him come through these races, he is one of the fastest guys you will ever see go around a racetrack in one of these Ford Mustangs. A very talented driver. He's insane at these cars. So, but that lap is quite considerably off pace from what he was running in practice. If I recall correctly, his fastest lap in practice was a 2:23.9. So I don't know what happened. Maybe he messed up one corner through the mountain section. But obviously he's off pace. It could just be track temps, but I'm not sure what's happening to that 78.
Well, we'll go ahead and keep an eye up here on the battles for qualifying. But while we have a chance, we are going to drag Brandon Carl down right now, Alex, and I'm going to let you take the reins here.
Brandon Carl, you got a copy?
I do have a copy. You got me a live mid-qualifying run too, but we're going to roll with it. It's do it for the memes. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you feeling going into this race? You know, it's a very tight racetrack. You're going through here, very tight racetrack. You know, it's not going to be easy to make moves through this mountain section, but everybody's going to be very close together through these first couple of laps. How do you feel about your chances tonight, and what do you think you can do here?
Oh, for sure. I'm just gonna drive the track and just hope for the best. Honestly, like you said it before, especially going on the uphill section there, it's hard to pass, and if you're a slower car, it's hard just to get out of the way of the faster cars. There may be chaos on the mountain. This league has been pretty good, but you never know. It is Bathurst. Like I said, I'm just gonna try to just do my best here. 2:27.3. for my first qualifying attempt. That's probably the fastest I've run here all week.
I'm gonna say, why don't we go ahead and just let you finish this lap out, and then we'll talk to you after this one, Brandon, because you're going.
Oh no, it's all good.
You're doing pretty well right now too. We're actually riding on board right now with you, so hopefully you're giving any of your secrets away either.
Oh no, I have no secrets. I'm slow.
Well, it doesn't look like that according to some of the lap times you've run right now.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, save it.
There we go.
And that, folks, is what you call the commentator curse. I'm probably going to do that quite a bit tonight, and I apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all good.
We apologize.
I told Randall I was probably just going to jump in mid-qualifying run just for the entertainment value of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you for doing that, Brandon. Before we let you go here, I know you guys are about to grade up. You got about 2 minutes left here, and we'll leave you alone. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out if we don't talk to you after the race, which I hope we do?
Oh, definitely shout out to Finney McFinger, Randall McGrew, for running this league here. He took it over from Devin Booth last season, and I can't believe how this league just has grown. This is a very, very, very tough league. There's a lot of really, really good drivers in this league, and it's amazing how we're still retaining a lot of drivers too. We're averaging about 30 cars a grid now. I think we only have like 30 people starting. That's our lowest car count all season.
Yeah, you just said only have 30 people starting. That is extremely impressive, man, to see this. And I want to give a big shout out to Randall while we're talking about him for bringing us on. We're a newer broadcast company, so I hope you guys are enjoying the streams so far. We've only done one, but thank you, Randall, as well for bringing us on. And it's just such a great thing to watch. But
yeah, I'll definitely have your broadcast on the side here. I'm actually live myself on Twitch.
Okay,
if you don't mind if I plug anything here.
Yeah, plug it.
Go ahead.
Shameless plug it, shameless. Twitch.tv/BCX Carl. That is www.twitch.tv/BCXCarl. Thank you, guys.
There you go, Brandon. All right,
Go
good luck in the race tonight, my man, and we're going to let you go.
I got you.
Thank you.
I'm going to drop you a follow right now.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Hell yeah. Oh, Matt Malone ended up rating me last week through the race, too. That made my freaking night. I had like 4 or 5 viewers, and all of a sudden he dropped in with like 200 viewers.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That is one person we actually haven't talked about yet. Matt Malone here in the league as well. Right now qualifying 3rd in the pro class. He's about 0.6 of a second off of Nam, which, hey, can anybody be surprised, Brandon?
Oh, no. Arrow's an alien in this car. It's crazy how quick he is. I've run with him in a couple races, like especially in like the production car challenge on iRacing and stuff like that. And it's just insane how fast he is. It's just, I see some of his lap times and stuff, and it just how he puts the car where he puts it without just sliding off the road. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, man, I do have to let you go now because we got to get through the grid. So good luck tonight, okay?
I appreciate you, Dakota123, for the follow.
That's me.
All right, Brandon, we're letting you go.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
See you, buddy. All right, Alex, I'll go ahead and let you take us through the grid here real quick if we can.
All right. Aero Nom with a 224.0 in that number 78 car. He's going to nab pole as Zoran Radisavich in the number 69 comes up 2nd. Matt Malone 3rd. Daniel Munoz 4th. Luis Henriquez 5th. Eric Ronenberg 6th. Scott Banks 7th. Ian Lane 8th. Joe Edward in 9th. David Clymer in 10th. Matthew Guzenda in 11th. And I didn't quite
Yep, I
catch
definitely
who's
switched that one a little too early. There you go.
And Edgar Santinelli comes up 12th. Then next we have Clint Fletcher in the number 4. Then I believe that is our first amateur driver, Roy Baker in the 14. Then Matt Thompson in the 15. Michael Puchik in the 16th. Brandon Carl in 17th. Desmond Floyd comes up 18th. Stephon Price in 19th. Scott Brooks in 20th. Jay Little 21st. I apologize if I butcher any of these. Jesse Hodgson.
Let me help you out there. It's Jesse Hodgson.
All right, thank you. I probably should have been able to guess that. Jesse Hodgson in 22nd, Dave Blair in 23rd, and Mike Nickham ends up 24th. Then next, Tom Wendt in the 25th, Ken Estep in 26th, Randall McGrew in 27th, Roger Clark in 28th, John Hill 29th, Mark Abercrombie in 30th, Devin Dawson 31st, and Ismael Rivera rounds out the field in 32nd.
Well, I know for a fact that Randall McGrew, also known as Finney, I'm going to start calling him Finney because I definitely like that quite a bit better. He is the admin of the league, so he's going to be race controlling tonight, and you will see as the race goes on if there are any incidents. If we don't catch them, we'll try to catch everything we can, guys. But again, we're racing around Bathurst tonight, so it's going to be tough to probably catch everything. But with that being said, he's going to be the one in it doing race control, as well as somebody else, which I'm sure Finney will let me know who that is that's race controlling with him. And you'll see it flash across the top of the screen. And this is going to be a short outlap, so here we go.
Yeah, they're going to come through this last corner and down this front straightaway. Eero Nam on pole, Radisavich second, and they're going to get on the gas. It's green flag here at Bathurst for the American Muscle Series.
Yeah, so this is going to come. They're coming here into turn 1, also known as Hell Corner. Let's hope it doesn't turn into hell. At least the top guys get through there okay. Let's see if we can try to get back here. Some of the guys further back. Looks like everybody got through this one pretty clean, so they're going to race up here, and this is where the slipstream starts to take effect, even though it's only lap 1, Alex.
Yeah, Radisavich, he can obviously get a very good run off Eero Nam if he wants. And Eero Nam, obviously one of the fastest guys in this field. So although it might seem a little too appealing, it might be worth it to try and get an early shot at Eero Nam early in this race to try and catch it, to try and pass him, and then try and stay in front of him to maintain that spot later in the race.
Yeah, absolutely it would be. So you've got to think that there is, if I can get this track map pulled up real quick, there is a couple sections here. You can see the straightaways right now. I mean, just look. There are 3 straightaways that allow for great slipstreaming, which I think might keep the racing close. The only problem is going to be down there through those S-turns, which you're about to see Eero and Zoran and everybody else go through, also known as the Dipper. That's where they may lose a little bit of time to each other. But if you can stay close enough, that slipstream advantage, you are going to have a huge one going down into the chase into turn 21 and 22.
Yeah, and even though these cars are extremely heavy, if you can get close enough to that car in front of you, you could pull off a very good dive bomb pass into that left-hand chicane after this long straightaway. So, coming through the dipper, if Radis Savage can maintain that gap, which it looks like he's going to do, he's going to get a nice run out of this corner, and he's going to get a great run through that slipstream. He might be able to pull off a dive bomb pass to take that lead early in this race and possibly lead lap 1.
All right, guys, so I am starting to see some things pop up on the overlay here. I will try to get back to follow that, but I just want to show you, let's see what Radis Savage can do here on Aero Nam. If we can get into the cockpit and show you how close he is he going to go for a move down the inside? It looks like he is.
Now he's going to try and take the inside away. Aeronam does a great job defending that outside lane. And through that chicane, it's full throttle. Aeronam can keep it on the bottom and keep Radis Savage from getting to either of his sides. So down through this last corner, we're going to see Radis Savage. He's going to stay in line, not try to pull anything there, just trying to maintain that gap through Hell Corner. Turn 1 to try and get another run down that back straightaway, or front straightaway, my bad.
Yeah, here we go. So they're going to, again, come through Hell Corner, down the mountain straight into Griffin's Bend, which is turn 2. So looks like Radis Savage has actually lost a little bit of time. And while we're looking at this, the one, the only Matt Malone, it's pretty awesome that he's racing this league and that we get to cover this. So you guys don't know Matt Malone, you can search him pretty quick and find him on YouTube, Twitch, anywhere you want. So, but Matt, look at all of a sudden, though, Radis Savage is already closed back up on Nam. That's a very dangerous spot to try to make an overtake if you're not side by side.
Yeah, and if you looked at the interval as they were coming into that corner, Radis Savage, you could tell by how much time he lost on entry. You could tell he was braking a little bit earlier. He's trying to make a move to make that lead pass, but he's not being too aggressive to try and keep that Mustang out of trouble as they come through this mountain section for the second time this race.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what we're going to try to do right now, guys. I'm going to try to take you back through some of the things that happened. We had Roger Clark here at the beginning of the race, seemed to have maybe had a bit of an issue here. We'll see exactly what happened. See, just maybe trying to pull up just a little bit. We're going to be going here. Where is this? This is up into...
It's like turn 3. He's coming up into turn 3. He's getting on the brakes now. He's holding the inside, not going out, choosing not to go to the wall like everybody else.
Oh,
And it looks like he just
stops.
Just pulls off the track.
All right, well, so that's what happened to Roger Clark. Let's see here what happened to Mark Abercrombie. We're going to try to get through this as quick as possible. Mark Abercrombie also had an issue. We have number 83 and number 7 under investigation. So we'll have to go take a look at that as well in just 1 second. We're going to get through all these incidents if we can. Mark Abercrombie going down here through the dipper.
Oh
my goodness. Looks like someone is backwards up there.
It looks like a spin in front of him caused him to slow down.
That may have been Devin Doss. We'll take a gander here at Devin Doss to see what happened if we can. Again, coming down in through the dipper. Maybe he carries just a little too much. Oh my goodness, that's E-step.
Yeah, E-step just self-spins it, going through, entering that downhill. Devin Doss has to check up.
And we've got John Hill here as well. So this is definitely the section that we thought were going to cause some issues for these guys. Coming down through, again, the dipper. It's just super tough with how heavy, and I think, there's too many trees, so I apologize for that, but it looks like maybe John may have just made a little bit of contact with somebody, but everything seemed to be okay there. We've also got a crash from Daniel Munoz. Again, through the same area. The dipper is going to be probably a pretty big issue tonight, it's looking like already, Alex.
Yeah, and with how heavy these things are, they are a lot of fun. Oh, and he just tried to pull off a bump and run. I'm not sure whether that was by his own will or not, but that destroys the front end of his Mustang. He just pulls off to the side of the track and just tows back to the pits.
Yeah, and there you go. That's showing Daniel Munoz for you right there. But we'll go back on here with see how this battle's going live right now. Looks like Radis Savage has made the move on Nam. We're going to have to go back and see that one as well. So, Let's see. We've got Radisavage and Nom here. See how this actually happened. Radisavage alongside him. Looks like he's going into the chase. Turn 21 and 22. He just makes it stick.
Yeah, and that's coming down that back straightaway. So not Radisavage. Nam was probably holding it on the left side of that back straightaway, and Radisavage with the run pulls up to his right side before the little high-speed kink and is able to stick on the outside through that little chicane. But we're gonna have to see if Nam can try and get that run back to try and get back around him. Nam, he's one of the fastest guys in this field. I don't think it's going to be so easy for Radisavage to hold on to this lead.
Well, it may not, but Nam's not only worried about Radisavage. Matt Malone, this is a 3-car breakaway at this moment, and Matt Malone is not going anywhere. So I don't think Nam's just looking out of his windshield at this point.
Yeah, and that's obviously, it can be a bit of a helping hand to Radisavage. Because if Nam is paying attention, Nam is obviously, you can tell, he's trying to get back up there. He's trying to get his lead back. But if Nam might have to look back in his mirror to see if Matt Malone does anything here, especially down these long straightaways, where Matt Malone might be able to use that slipstream and get a run to try and pass Nam. I'm not sure if it's in his best interest to do so right now, but with the way these guys are racing up front, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Malone thinks he can get a good enough run to try and completely clear Nam before the corner. He might be able to go after Radisavage on his own here.
Yeah, he might be able to. So we'll see what happens there. At the top of your screen, guys, I forgot to pull this up earlier. So you see the green highlighted on the timing tower on the left side. The green is the pro class, the red is the AM class. These guys are fighting for the same point. So you can see the first person in pro class, obviously Zoran Radisavage. The first person in the AM class is Edgar Sancinelli back here, and he's right now battling with, well, everybody at this point. So he's got Fletcher in front of him and Guzenda right behind him. So you've got to remember that just because these guys are in 11th, just because the first AM is in 11th place, he's in first place in class, and that still means something.
Yeah, and obviously first place in class is going to really help for the class championships at the end of the season here. Obviously, you're just trying to get as many points as possible to try and help yourself toward come the end of the season. So Sancinelli's just trying to hold off onto Guzenda, maybe trying to get around Fletcher to make it a bit easier defending that #1 spot. But obviously right now, unless Guzenda gets a run down one of these straightaways or can get a good set of corners, Sancinelli can just look out his windshield and just hang out. And now Dave Blair, he's coming through the downhill section. He's being chased by Hodgson behind him and Carl in front of him in the 30. So now he's going to have to come through the dipper.
Yeah, this is coming through the dipper. This
might be able to get a run.
This is Forest Elbow, where he's about to come out of. Turn 19 right there, and then down the Conrad Straight. This is the back straight. And into turn 20, also known as the Chase, is that little second kind of straightaway, if you want to call it that. But they're just kind of setting themselves up for the left-hander there on turn 21 and 22. We'll see if anything can happen with these guys. This is actually a pretty close battle we got going right now.
Yeah, these guys are doing a great job back here, doing a great job battling cleanly, you know.
Oh my goodness!
Baker gets loose, coming towards the Chase, head on into that concrete wall. That's going to destroy the front end of that Mustang, and I'm thinking he's just going to tow right here. He might just be
I would assume
right now.
Roy may not be going anywhere anytime quick. So, yeah, so it's unfortunate for Roy. And like I mentioned before we started the broadcast, Alex, I was able to get out there on track just a little bit. And if you catch a little bit of the grass under braking with these cars, count your blessings and hope you don't hit a wall, which unfortunately Roy was not able to do.
Yeah, and it's obviously going around any track in these Mustangs, it's a lot of fun, but you got to be very careful with how heavy they are. Even with the downforce they have, it's easy to get loose off a corner if you aren't careful. And like Adam said, if you clip that grass on entry, it's not going to be easy to control that thing going into the corner if you can control it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. We did just see a pass there. Dave Blair just got around Brandon Carl. That was for 16th place overall, but sixth in class. So still doing I mean, even though they're racing for 6th in class and 15th overall, I don't think that deters them any. This is great pack racing back here right now.
Yeah, and it goes back. I haven't checked the points myself, but these guys might be championship contenders out here fighting for their shot at the season's end amateur championship. So they might be racing as hard as they can, not because they want to, but because they need it for points. As we look back towards the front of the field, Matt Malone has gotten in front of Aero Nom, and we're going to have to see if he tries to make a move on Radisavage coming towards the chicane before the chase.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. We're going to follow this real quick. Thank you for reminding me, Alex. We did have a great interview before the race, so I wasn't able to get the points up, but if we can see if Matt Malone just holds on behind Radisavage here, we will go back and watch this pass very quickly, if we can, and see exactly how Malone was able to get around Nom.
Looks like he just got to his right side down the chase, just got a great run out of that chicane. Looks like maybe just outbraked him into that last corner. Just
that was an unbelievable
it.
pass by Matt Malone. Holy cow. Around the outside, final corner, down the main straight. Great job by Matt.
Yeah, great move from him as we come back to the leaders. Matt Malone, he might be able to get a run. He's currently losing time right now, but now he's starting to gain it back, I do believe. So as he comes down these straightaways, or if he can get a nice set of corners through the forest.
Looks like Matt's going a little bit defensive here because he sees Nom. Nom's not going to let this one go. Nom trying to fight back around the outside. That's not where you want to make a pass going into turn 2. And this, you're just kind of hanging out right now because this is when the track gets super tight.
Yeah, and these guys, the track gets very narrow here. It's going to be difficult for everybody to make moves around here, but they just have to hold on to their cars to the best of the abilities. And I would say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the only real way to pass through this section is if your opponent in front of you makes a mistake, or if you just get a monster run coming out of one of these corners, and you can very quickly pull to one of their sides and get around them before the next corner.
Hey, you remember that guy we were talking to at the beginning of the race, Alex?
Yeah, he's made up one spot, Brandon Carl. He's currently 16th overall. I believe that is 11th in class.
That would be 6th in class. He is right now 6th in class.
Excuse me, I thought he was in the pro class. That's my bad.
Yeah, that's because of the overlay, the highlight. Remind me to fix that, Randall, after this race. So he is in the AM class right now, and he is chasing down Hodgson for another position here. Try to gain 2.
Yeah, and he's done a great job this race, just keeping that number 30 Mustang clean. He's made up a spot already. Now we just have to see if he can make up more spots on Hodgson to try and get into the top 5 and maybe in a podium at the end of the day for himself and his team.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, again, we're watching Brandon. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, but we do have Aero Nom closing in on Matt Malone. So we're going to keep a track on that. Actually, we're going to go to it right now because it looks like Nom's going to try to make the move.
Yeah, through the chase down into the last corner. This is where Matt Malone made a pass on Aero Nom for 2nd place. Nom's going to look to take it right back. Malone keeps it even, but not the best exit for him. He's going to get a little bit better of a run than Nom down that straightaway. But if Nom can just outbrake him here, just get a nice run through hell,
Ooh,
he's not going to clear him. It's going to be very tight off that corner. Now they're going to go side by side down this first straightaway.
Alex, if you're Zoran Radisavage right now, who are you helping? Are you turning to the right to help out Matt? It looks like he's turning to the left to help out Aero maybe with a little bit of that slipstream, but it doesn't look like it's helping as Matt is starting to pull that gap. It looks like he's going to hold on to this position for now.
Honestly, if I'm Radisavage and I'm trying to give draft to one of these two, I would probably go with Aero Nom right now. He's in 3rd behind Matt Malone, and if I can get those two side by side going into a corner, it's going to let me pull away a lot more than I already have. So if I have to choose who to give draft to, I'm going to give it to that guy in 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see a battle here between Brandon Carl and Stephen Price. Try to get back here and see what's going on with this. This is a very close battle as well going into turn 3. Or going into turn 2, I apologize. Going into... well, it kind of backed off there just a little bit. We do have Blair and Hodgson right up here in front of us going to battle as well.
Yeah, now, we've said this before and we'll say it again. Going through this mountain section and the forest, it is super tight. It's going to be extremely difficult for anybody to make a move. So if you're looking to make a move, I say you just try and hold on to that back bumper of your opponent, to try and keep it and wait for a move down that straightaway.
I just want to ride on board here real quick. If you guys have not done this yet, I want you to understand, if you guys have not run these cars, watch how scary this gets as you come down through this dipper section and then out of the woods, back down onto the bottom part of the track. You go right, then you go left, and then it's back right. You're constantly braking, but you don't want to brake too much because then you're under pressure from behind. Look at all the elevation changes. And number 20 did get a drive-through penalty for an unsafe rejoin leading to that incident. That number 20 car is going to be Michael Puchik.
Yeah, and unfortunate for him. He's been doing a great job this race from what I've seen. So, unfortunate for that number 20 team, but you live and you learn. Just unfortunate for that team.
Yeah, absolutely. That is unfortunate for Michael, but this is a pretty long race. They've got still about 20 minutes left. I can't do math. 25 minutes left or so. So, yeah, these guys are still doing okay. He can still get into the pits. It's just a drive-through. You got to think. Right now, Michael is 8th in class with the gap. About 14 seconds to hill. He might be able now 15, 20 seconds to hill, so he might be able to actually, well, maybe only lose one position here.
Now, Puchik, if he thinks big picture here, if these guys have to pit at all during this race for fuel, which I believe they will have to, I'm not sure, but if they have to pit for fuel here, if Michael Puchik can come into the pits, serve his drive-through penalty, I'm gonna need a little bit of quotation on this, but I do believe if he goes off track on pit entry, that might be an unsafe pit entrance to already add on to that drive-through.
Yeah,
but if
so
he can come in here and take some fuel, he might be able to serve that penalty and get out with being able to finish the race.
So I don't believe, and I meant to ask Randall this before this race. Oh my goodness, look at that car dog walking down the pit. He may just, I don't even know if he's going to be able. He's going to have to serve the drive-through, come back out, maybe have to go back in again for repairs. But they didn't have to pit last race. So I don't know. I doubt they're going to have to pit this one either. So really, this is all a tire conservation game for these guys.
Yeah, which means for that car in second place, Matt Malone and that number 83, it's gonna be difficult for him to make up a 4.5 second gap. Rada Savage has done a great job pulling away Matt Malone. He's gonna have to try and work with Aeronam down these straightaways and just hit his marks, as we currently see Dave, Blair, and Hodgson go to battle for 14th.
So I actually wanted to mention, we do have a few people here that are talking in chat, trying to get back through here. Brennan Horn says they got to figure this out quick before Rada Savage drives away from the both of them. And while these two have been fighting, look at the interval that Rada Savage has pulled.
Almost 5 seconds, 4.9 right now. Rada Savage, as Aeronam goes for a move again.
Wow!
To the chicane. Ooh, Matt Malone hits the curb, then hits Aeronam. That's going to allow Ronenberg to get a run on Matt Malone as they come through the chase and through this last corner. But this is exactly what Rada Savage wants. Just through that set of corners alone, he's opened that gap up over 6/10, 5.6 second lead, which is going to be almost insurmountable unless Rada Savage makes a mistake here. But Aeronam, he's going to have to do his best to hit his marks, try and drive away from these guys behind him, and then try and make sure that he can catch up to Rada Savage and try and make a move towards the end of this race.
So we do have the number 83 and the number 78 under investigation as well. So when I start going back through here, and I'll figure out who that is and see if we can get a replay pulled up of that, we're going to keep you on this battle between Ronenberg, Banks, Lane, and Henriquez, who are all right on each other. And now Matt Malone has all of a sudden started to become part of that battle with that little mistake he made.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that did anything to the front end of his car, but he was able to get back around Ronenberg when Ronenberg tried to make a move on him through the chase, but doesn't look like it. Do you think, Adam, that Malone may have gathered any undercarriage damage after hitting that curb so hard?
He may have, and we can actually go back here if we can to kind of see, because what is under investigation, I wasn't looking at car numbers because I was too worried on names. That is Matt Malone and Aeronam are under investigation for that. So we'll kind of have to see what happens with that. See if I can get that pulled back up. like we've got it right here. Maybe you can see Matt Malone just gets into the corner. Oh, that was not that replay. Let's try this one.
Now, they came through that chicane. Now, here we go. This is a replay. Aeronom tries to pull to the right side, try and make a move on the outside. Matt Malone, he just needs to hug it as close to the curb as he can. Just drives it in too deep.
Yeah, it does make a little bit of
curb.
Makes a little bit of contact with Nam, but I don't think, again, I'm not the one doing the race controlling, so I'm not going to say anything anymore, as we do have a almost pass. Ronenberg thought about it, or Banks thought about it, and just hadn't gotten it done yet. But look at Banks bump drafting Ronenberg going here into the final corner, turn 23, Murray's corner.
Yeah, and Banks just trying to keep that car in top 5 contention. You know, he's done a great job this race. And obviously, as he's trying to pass Ronenberg here, he's got a car behind him. That's Lane in the number 98. So we got to see if Banks or Ronenberg messes up here. It could open up room for Lane to try and make a move, or even Henriquez behind him.
So that was the number 83. Did get a warning for that incident. He jumped over that curb. Number 83 is Matt Malone. Nothing happened there. These guys are still battling. This is so tough for me, guys. I hope you understand. Trying to follow 2 battles at one time. We're going to try to get Nam here. Looks like he's going to be able to make it around the outside of... No, he's not. They're still side by side. So we're going to go back up to this battle now. Holy cow, Randall, you guys have some good racing in here, and it's making my job extremely tough.
And this is going to be scary coming up through here. You can see Malone wiggle, trying to break into turn 3. Nam finally clears him, but that is not a common place you would see side-by-side racing, and you can see just how dangerous it was. If you could tell, when Matt Malone started to brake, that Mustang started wiggling as he was trying to get it turned into turn 3. So that's going to cause him to lose some time, and Eero Nam is going to take second back. But this is just eye candy for Radisavage up front. He's opened up a 7.2 second lead. If I'm Radisavage right now, I'm going to hit my marks, obviously, but I'm not going to drive this thing too hard. I'm just going to cruise around, try and make sure that I don't damage my car so I can just be there at the end, as I have a 7.1 second lead, so I can just stay up front and win myself this race if I'm Radisavage.
Absolutely. So I want to try to do something here, as Matt Malone does fall off the back of Nam just a little bit, so this may not be a good representation. We're going to go here to Ian Lane, and I want to see the difference in speed that Lane's going to have compared to Ronenberg in front of him. So you can see the gap closing. Ronenberg at 136. Lane is at 142. So you can see that slipstream there. Just insane, but Lane just was not quite close enough to get that done.
Yeah, and even with dive bombs going into this corner, it's a heavy braking zone, but it's not as heavy as a braking zone as you would think turn 1 or turn 2 or turn 3 would be, or even going downhill into that 4 section. It looks like a chicane that you might have to brake hard for, but you don't really have to brake all that much for that corner. It's one of those high speed chicanes. So if you're gonna pull a dive bomb off there, you're gonna have to make it quick, as Ian Lane pulls to the inside of Ronenberg to try and make a move down that first straightaway.
I apologize, guys. I did have to switch to that. There was an overtake opportunity, but we're going to go back to this because I have no idea what's about to happen here, Alex. I'm going to let you take this.
All right, well, you're giving me a handful here. You got Banks bump drafting Ronenberg down this straightaway as they come to break into this corner. Lane all by himself on that outside lane.
Oh, my God.
So close. It looked like Banks almost came onto the outside line straight up into lane, but they keep it together as they come up through this section. And now this is allowing Henriquez to catch back up, and now it's a 4-car freight train as these guys all battle for 4th.
Hey, guess what? We do have a battle for the lead in the AM class as well. We've got Guzenda and Sancinelli right on the back of each other at the moment. So we're going to have to keep track of this one as well. There are, again, battles going all over the place right now. We're trying to get to the YouTube chat as well if I can. Alex, shout something out if you want me to go to it. Logan Young. I don't know if I'm going to say that one on stream, my man. I'll let you talk to Euro yourself. Yeah, so Finney did say that there are no fuel stops here unless it's a 60-minute race, which we will see at the Nürburgring. So that's going to be exciting there as well, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one right now. Yeah, going through here right now, no pit unless you underfueled. So I did get corrected there, so thank you guys for shouting us out there in the chat.
Yeah, and this, if they don't, which they don't have to pit for fuel, they have just shy of 14 minutes left. It felt like this race has flown by. They're already on lap 11, but battles going on all over the place. Very hard to keep track of. We're currently looking at the battle for the amateur class lead. Guzenda and Sancinelli, they're going to go at it here. And Sancinelli currently 7/10 back, but you can see how much that slipstream helps him make up. He's made up half a tenth. Now it looks like a full tenth, down to 6.3, 6.2, 6.1, almost under 6/10 of a second to the gap closing.
Great under braking as well by Sancinelli.
Yeah, and Guzenda did not get a good exit there. Sancinelli's going to pull right up to his back bumper through Murray's corner. Sancinelli might have a shot at taking a move. He doesn't take it. Oh, he tried to pull to the inside a little early there. That might allow Guzenda to get a bit of a better exit down this front straightaway and into Hell Corner.
Guys, I did just see that pass, by the way. Banks did pass Ronenberg. We'll go to that. I'll promise you I'll get you to a replay of that. But right now we are watching this battle between Sancinelli and Guzenda for the class lead in the AM. Now I just want to watch it down into this first corner because, like you said, there is not that much time left with how big this track is. So people are going to start going for moves that they wouldn't be going for at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, and judging off how long laps are, I'm going with we maybe have 4, 5, or 6 laps left, which not a lot of time for these guys to make moves. Yeah, and that's going to cause him to actually made up a little bit of time down that straightaway.
Yep, because I'm dumb. That was Guzenda that got wide, not Edgar. We are right now on Edgar Sancinelli, and that is Matthew Guzenda in front of him. But while we've got a chance, I'm going to go back to see this pass that Scott Banks made on Ronenberg.
Looks like you got a great run through that chicane. Ronenberg just didn't get a good run through that chicane. Banks able to get a nice run down the chase and into Murray's corner, able to easily clear him before turn 23. Just a textbook pass through that chicane.
Yeah, going back here, looks like we do have a battle forming up as well with, well, maybe between Lane and Ronenberg and Banks. That's still raging. Even though Banks was able to get that done, he hasn't quite pulled the gap that I would think he want to, especially going down Conrad straight in the back part of the track here.
Yeah, and Ronenberg, he's able to keep that car well within 0.3 of a second, doing a great job just trying to get in. It looked like he actually bounced off that curb there, if I'm not mistaken. Now they both bounce off that curb a little and down through the chase into Murray's corner. Ronenberg and Lane just need to keep their cars there, trying, or at least I would try and get a run down that first straightaway to try and make a move into turn 2 to try and keep them behind me, because if I can clear them into turn 2, it's not going to be easy for them to make a move on the car in front of them for the rest of the lap until they get to that back straightaway.
So we do have Lane that is quite a bit closer to Ronenberg than Ronenberg is to Banks, and Ronenberg does get wide. It may give Lane a chance here going into turn 3 or turn 2. I apologize. That's going to be still going to be a tough move, and you can see right up in the front there, Matt Malone is still on the back of Nam as well. But we're going to stay on this battle right now. Is Lane going to go for the move? He's going to drop it down to the inside.
Just looks like he doesn't have enough room there. Ronenberg is able to turn into the corner and just clear him instantly. Make sure Lane doesn't have enough room to make that move. As they come into turn 3, Lane, he's going to peek to the inside. He's not going to go for it. Again, a very difficult part of the track. It's a very technical section. A lot of driver talent shows through here, and it's very difficult to make a move through this forest section.
Yes, it is, but I think Matt Malone is going to try to prove us wrong as Nam does get super wide, almost into the wall. They are side by side, and one of the most difficult parts of the tracks to pass on, and Malone is not going to let this go, but neither is Nam. Nam holds on around the outside for now.
Now coming into this downhill, if Matt Malone tried to pull that move off there, I wouldn't be surprised if in one of these little high-speed chicane blind corners, he tries to pull another one of that as they come down into the dipper to come down the Conrad straight. Matt Malone, if he can just get a good run out of the dipper here, Looks like he tried to underbrake there, and he got a decent run out of that corner. Not a much better run, but it's going to help him use that slipstream to try and get past Nam as they come down this back straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, judging from the in-car, he may just be a little too far back, but he is going to get this slipstream down Conrad Straight, and then again into turn 23 into Murray's Corner, and then again down the mountain straight. So if he can stay close, I think he can actually mount an attack here, and he's got to make it. Got to be careful there. Matt's already done this once. He decides to back out of that one as he takes the curb almost just as much as he did with Nam when he was beside him.
Yeah, and a very dangerous... It's a common passing point we've seen in this race, but it is also one of the most dangerous. It's high-speed chicanes. They're great corners. You know, I think they're a lot of fun to drive through, but if you go through there side by side, it's not going to be easy for both of you to hold on to. You see why people don't go side by side through the Le Mans chicane at Daytona Road Course. You see why they don't go side by side through the bus stop at Watkins Glen. High-speed chicanes, they're fun, and you can pull off some great dive bombs into them, but it's not easy to hold them side by side.
It is absolutely not, and we do have a little bit of break in the action here. We did see a pass. Devin Doss did pass Brandon Carl here. We're kind of see how this happened, and this is going to be an extremely... Ooh, Brandon looks like he got some serious damage somewhere along the way. And Devin just makes that easy. I think Brandon's just trying to get through the race at this point. That front end has seen better days, for sure.
Yeah, and don't look now, but it looks like Ian Lane has fallen back behind Rollenberg about 2.5 seconds here. So if we can, I want to go back and see. Maybe Lane might have gone off track a little bit, but he definitely fell back a little bit from those two in front of him.
We do actually have a replay of that, so we'll kind of see what happened here. Lane, he gets wide coming through the chicane, and then he just carries too much speed. He's on the grass trying to get on the brakes. That is unfortunate for Lane, but you know what? It is what it is, and he's still holding on to that lead, or not the lead, but holding on to that position on Luis Enriquez for now, but I think Enriquez is coming. But if we do want to look at Enriquez's car real quick, I did see some damage on his. That's pretty substantial as well, and I think that all came from that lap 1 incident when they were coming down through the dipper, which is where they're coming through right now.
Yeah, and again, same situation as Lane, but Matt Malone, he's fallen off Aero Nom about 1.8 seconds. I'm not sure if it's the result of him making a mistake, or if it's from Matt Malone. Maybe he just gets unlucky, and Aero Nom just sets a fantastic lap. But if he made a mistake, it's in this part of the track. He hits that curve.
May have been what it was, but man, he's still trying to carry a lot of speed down through a section that, you may not want to. Doesn't look like that's where he lost too much time. He definitely did lose some through there, but I don't think that's 1.5 seconds worth.
Yeah, Matt Malone, just unfortunate for him. He's been great all this race, and just an unfortunate series of corners for him.
We do have another battle forming up here between Ronenberg and Banks. We're going to see if Ronenberg tries to go for a move. Ronenberg's car, never mind. I was going to say it was pretty clean, but I see Ronenberg. Looks like he's got a bit of an accident over that O right now on the right rear fender of that car. I don't think that's supposed to be bent that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that might be from, but it's not hindering his ability to drive that car in any way, shape, or form. He's not going to be able to pull a move off on Banks right here, but he's doing a great job sticking to the back bumper.
He's going to go for it.
Yeah, a very dangerous spot to make a move. Up braking into turn 3, as you can see, backs out of it, as these drivers just want to stay single file through here and try and make a move down Conrad Straight.
We are looking right now at Brandon Carl. We just missed an overtake on Dave Blair, but it looks like Brandon was able to get the move done okay. We can go back here and try to watch this if we can, real quick like. Man, both cars are extremely damaged. Looks like Brandon's just able to get... He may just have just a little bit of a better car right now than Blair does.
Yeah, heavy damage to both of those Mustangs. You gotta wonder if that was from any lap 1 incidents, or if it's a single car incident, or halfway through the race, somebody just lost it into a corner, and both of those unfortunate drivers just had nowhere to go. But Radis Savage, a great job. He's led almost all of this race. I'd say at least over half an hour, a 6.1 second gap. Adam, with 4 minutes to go, I don't think there's anything Nom can do to catch up to that number 69 car.
Good job, Alex. You just jinxed it.
Yep, commentator's curse.
Because I can promise you that there are things that Radisavage can do. Maybe not Nom, but there are things that Radisavage can do to watch that lead go away in a hurry, which is what I normally do if I'm leading a race, is I get nervous, which I don't think Radisavage will, and I make a mistake, I lock up, and I find myself into these very hard things called walls around most of the tracks that they have on iRacing, and I will end up losing a race in the worst way possible. But right now, Radisavage, please don't listen to anything I just said. Just keep driving your race, man, because you are on a heater right now. Absolutely flying right now. 6.2 seconds ahead. This battle between Ronenberg, though, and Banks is still on.
Yeah, coming through Hell Corner. This is going to be prime time opportunity for Ronenberg to try and make a move. You can see he's already making up time off the slipstream. We just have to see if he can make a move down this first straightaway. Just keeps it on the back bumper for now, trying to make as much of that slipstream as he can. Judging off the intervals, I think he lifted a little bit there, just to try and wait and size up his opponent a little bit more. Maybe an old Darrell Waltrip strategy you might see over on the oval side of things. Not really passing your opponent, but just letting them know that you're there, and they can do anything they want with you at any given time.
So, as you can see, actually you cannot see because I don't have the flags up for most of these guys. I can actually try to pull this up real quick and show you. Most of the people in this league are... Oh my goodness, is Scott Banks just absolutely made love to that wall.
Excuse you, that was Eric Ronenberg.
That was Ronenberg, I apologize.
He just cut those corners a little bit too close, bounced off of one, went head on straight into the other. And as soon as he hit that inside wall, just nothing he could do to save that car. It was going straight no matter what he was doing. Extremely unfortunate. He's ran good all race, and that's going to open up a shot for Ian Lane to try and make up another spot and try and get that Mustang back in the top 5.
So here for first in class in the AM division, this battle still hasn't gone away either. This is Guzenda and Sanchinelli right now, or this is Guzenda and Fletcher. So Fletcher is actually a pro class driver. Guzenda is a AM class driver. He's not happy with first. He wants to take that 10th place overall and one more point.
Yeah, and you got to think that if you're Sanchinelli in this situation, or excuse me, if you're Guzenda in this situation, as frustrated as you are, if you want that 10th place overall spot, if you can maintain this spot behind that number 4, excuse me, you can just keep getting that draft down these straightaways and negating the slipstream effect built up for the number 257 car of Sanchinelli. So if Guzenda can just sit behind this 4 car, he's got a great shot at just keeping with that lead of just keeping with that number 4 car and keeping that car out front for the AM class. But up front, Zoran Radisavage has taken the white flag.
Yeah, Zoran has just done exactly what he's had to do for 40 minutes of this race, Alex, and that's just keep the car clean. And around a track like this, that is a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, and a very difficult racetrack to navigate. You would think by judging of how much time you spent on straightaways might not be that difficult, but coming through this forest and mountain section, one of the difficult sections of racetrack that you will see on the iRacing service, probably besides the Nürburgring. I don't think anything can beat that, at least in my opinion. But a very technical and difficult portion of racetrack is not easy to get through, and Radisavage has done a great job of conquering this mountainside today.
Absolutely, I apologize. I'm trying. I promise you guys, I am watching the chat right now on the YouTube side.
You're breaking down over there.
I'm not going to repeat a lot of what's going on right now, but I'm sure a lot of these guys are going to go back and watch the stream and probably be laughing as hard as I am. So, but anyways, no, we are following Radisavage, and this is not the Nürburgring, as you said, but there are hints of the Nürburgring, especially through that forest section, and Radisavage has done nothing but good things through there, which is really given me some pretty good hopes for him when we get to the Nürburgring. Now that is a totally different track. Someone can tell me how many corners there actually are, because I'm pretty sure they know that, but there's only 23 corners on this one, and there's probably more than twice that on the Nürburgring. So, but with that being said, we do have Radosavage coming along here through the chase, through turn 21, and then turn 22, going to take the checkered flag. Hopefully, I'm not going to say anything yet. We're going to let him get through this one last left-hand corner of Murray's corner, turn 23, and he is going to take the checkered flag, win in the Pro Series, win overall, and dethrone Iro Nam from the top step of the podium as Nam comes home second.
Yeah, and real quick, let's go back and look at the 52 car. Sancinelli and Guzenda, this might be heating up here as they come down to go through turns 21 and 22 for the final time. What can Sancinelli do in this situation? He just has to hit his marks, try and get a dive bomb pass through that last corner. He gets a great run, a fantastic run through turns 21 and 22. They're going side by side through the chase. They're going to come side by side into Murray's corner.
I'm going for a bump right now. I'm going for a bump, but he doesn't. Sancinelli actually does play this extremely clean.
And he's not going to get a good run out of that last corner. He's going to try as hard as he can, but he's not going to be able to get him at the line. And Guzenda is your AM class winner at Bathurst.
Unbelievable racing. I mean, this has been the second week in a row that has just been unbelievable. And Desmond Floyd, who we haven't really talked about at all, has one of the cleanest cars in the field, comes home third in class. Great job for Desmond. Unbelievable. That was a great job. Kept the car clean. But, man, that racing was those top two in that AM class.
Yeah, and just Guzenda, a great job all race. Sancinelli gave him all he had. But in the end, Guzenda ends up on top. A fantastic drive from Matthew Guzenda in the 52 gray Mustang. He's done a great job all race. Did a great job battling with Sancinelli, to keep this race clean, keeps that car clean, and straight up earns that win for a late race battle through the last couple of corners.
Here we go. We still got people crossing the line here, but I don't want to miss this. Randall, I'm sure you're listening right now. We are not going to pull anybody in for interviews until after what we're about to watch, which is going to be one of the most epic things I think you're ever going to see on iRacing. They are going to go full speed down the Conrad Straight and try to jump the tires. So we'll see if any of these guys can actually do it.
I tried to do this a little bit in practice. The most I got was clipping the tires with the rear axle, and bam, my rear axle is now on Neptune. So I don't know how well some of these guys are going to be able to clear this if they can straight up pack race style like it's a plate track, Daytona or Talladega.
So we've got Matt went just a little bit too far there. He's going to go ahead and just, without getting DQ'd, please don't get DQ'd, Matt. Just go ahead and stay right there. Everyone's starting to line up here back in the back of the field, and we can actually get kind of a good judge of who are 1, 2, and 3. You got Radosavage took first place in the pro class. Never mind. They're just going to go for it now. We'll bring the results up later.
Well, it looks like they might just be catching up to Matt Malone a little bit. They still have a bunch of cars left on the racetrack that are trying to catch up, as you see first and third currently leading this field. But to clear those tires, man, if they can race together, try and use that bump trap to try and push each other over that jump, or what we might see is a bad bump draft as soon as they hit the jump and somebody goes nose first into the tire barrier. That would mess up the entire field.
Yeah, so here we go. Everyone's still lining up here. I know this is kind of, we'll call it a bit more of a boring moment, but this race has been nothing but boring, and I promise you guys, hang in here for just a little longer. You're about to see something extremely glorious as we've got the number 33, the number 66, and the number 257 catching up there in the back of the pack of Thompson. Who else would that be? That would be Thompson, the number 66 of... Oh, who knows? Who even cares at this point? I apologize. This whole race has just been unbelievable for me. So as we do have somebody just burning their tires down right now.
That's Fletcher in the 10th overall, and I was about to mention that. I was going to say, that's probably one of the most impressive things I've seen on the sim. I have never, ever seen anybody.
And here we go.
Burnout, but here they go. They get on the throttle. Radosavage out front. I'm not sure who that is in second, honestly, but everybody pack racing down this straightaway. This is going to be glorious.
And
this is going to be absolutely beautiful.
We do have Radisavage leading the way like he did the whole race. Matt Malone in third right now. Number 47. And here we go. Let's see if they can clear it.
Go. Can they clear
they
it?
They do.
Oh, Radisavage cleared it. There goes Matt Malone.
Oh, my goodness.
Matt Malone continues straight. Matt Malone. I got to give him a round of applause as Ken Estep slams into the tires. I got to give Matt Malone a round of applause. He cleared those tires perfectly, straight up continued on like nothing ever happened.
Unbelievable.
That was fantastic.
That was
amazing.
That was absolutely amazing. Now, we will bring up your results right now. So, in first place overall and in the pro class, we have Zoran Radisavage. Second is Iro Nam. We watched just an absolute masterclass by Radisavage, able to pull away from Nam. That battle between Nam and Malone helped him do that. Malone comes home third overall as well as in the pro class. Banks comes home fourth. Lane fifth. Enrique sixth. Edward seventh. Clymer eighth. Ronenberg ninth. Fletcher 10th. Guzenda first place in the AM class, with Santinelli following him up in second. Floyd in third. Great job by Desmond Floyd. We didn't get much coverage on him. Hopefully he does join the interview waiting booth, and it looks like he has, so we'll be able to pull him in here as well. We got Hodgson in fourth, 14th overall, then Price, Nickum, Puchik, Doss.
Adam, you good there?
Yes. Carl, Hill, Estep, Blair, Little, Thompson, Brooks, Abercrombie, Went, and Roy Baker looks like round out. They do not. Clark, Munoz, and then, that rounds out the field for tonight's race. Absolutely unbelievable from start to finish. That was, that was definitely something to to remember for sure.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race from everybody involved in this field. I give a huge round of applause to Randall McGrew and everybody that helped put this together. And everybody did a fantastic job this race. We saw amazing battles. We saw a straight clinic of a race. Everybody doing fantastic here. And especially a great showing after the jump post-race.
Absolutely. That was something to behold. But at the moment, let's see if we do have Zoran Radisavage. It doesn't look like we do, so Zoran is not going to join us tonight for interviews, but we do have the second place finisher of, do not have Iro Nam either. We do have Matt Malone, though, so we'll go ahead and pull Matt Malone down in here for an interview, and Alex, I'm sure you're a pretty big fan. I will go ahead and let you take this one away.
Matt Malone, you got a copy?
Hey there.
So, talk to me, my man. How'd that race go for you? You were running up second, challenging for the lead all race against Iro, Nam, and Zoran Radisavage. How'd it go for you out there tonight?
Yeah, well, these big old V8 Mustangs, they really build them out of solid steel. So you can do a little banging, a little fender wrenching here, a little there, a little door banging, a little, you throw your fender in there, no one's going to look twice, So me and Arrow, we're really going at it. The goal is to beat Arrow every single week. Zoran managed to get the pass. It's really nice, easy to pass, not easy to pass here, but you get like those long straightaways where you get a lot of draft. And you can make at least a pass attempt. Zoran somehow, some way gets around Arrow. So then I'm thinking, all right, blood in the water, let's do this. And then me and Arrow spent the most of the race just battling. And that was great fun. Arrow won out in the end. At the very end, I missed a bunch of gears at the end. This old V8, the clutch isn't as strong as they used to make them.
Yeah, and speaking of door banging, as you were saying earlier, what exactly happened? What exactly happened when going into turns 21 and 22? It looked like you hit the curb, slid out wide, just tagged Aeronam a little bit. What exactly happened there?
Yeah, well, it's a high stress situation. I was sweating. I'm coming in there. I know I got to put the pressure on, and yeah, basically what happened. The tires were really falling off. I was 100% brake. The ABS was fully engaged. Couldn't get the car slowed down. Turned it in a little early. I wanted to leave him plenty of room, but I turned in early. got onto that curb, and it just launched me right into him. And apparently, I was being investigated over, running out of talent. Apparently, but it said that it was just a warning. So yeah, it was just bad driving on my end.
All right. Well, anybody you want to thank for coming out here and doing great this race?
Hey, I want to thank you guys, and I want to thank the Twitch chat. They're always positive. They're always looking for a great race, and they're always, hanging out. And they're my best friends, and I just couldn't have done it without them. So I really want to thank the Twitch chat.
All right, well, real quick, before we let you go, I just got to give you a round of applause for clearing that tire barrier, landing it, and kept going straight like a boss. I just got to give you a round of applause for that one, but I'll let you go, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. Unfortunately, I've had way too much practice doing that jump. See you guys.
All right, that was Matt Malone there. Finished third in the pro class. Always great to talk to Matt. And looking at the YouTube chat again, it's something else. I'm really enjoying watching this. But we are going to bring in our first place finisher of Matthew Guzenda here. Matthew, welcome in, my man. And what a race between you and Edgar.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, that was a really exciting. I thought halfway through I'd kind of given it up to him. Got tied up with Clint a little bit, and then luckily just managed to hang on to him. And eventually he made a little mistake going up the hill, and I was able to kind of get inside and get back that position. And then he was super clean the rest of the race. It was back and forth the whole time. I couldn't really break his toe, so there was a couple of spots going up the hill, and then the long straight coming down the hill where I was getting was really slow until the last turn, but fast out. So I was managed to just keep him behind me the rest of the race. So it's pretty tough.
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned up the hill and down the hill. Just wondering here. Actually, I'm going to let you take this one over. I've got some weird stuff going on here in the YouTube chat. Go ahead, Alex.
Well, I got to say, man, a great job tonight. Anybody you want to thank for this race?
Yeah, obviously our sponsors, you guys for hosting, Simpit for being sponsoring Bruno, and then obviously Randall for hosting the league. It's a really cool league.
All right, well.
All right, I apologize. I'm back now. Matthew, what I wanted to bring up real quick before we let you go, the passing, I mean, it had to be frustrating, right? Because you did have some serious slipstreaming opportunities, but man, you were mentioning up the hill and down the hill where you were really closing the time on Edgar, and you were able to finally get around him eventually, but man, that had to be frustrating just having to hang out behind him.
Yeah, you just have to be super patient. Like, really, those two spots are the best spots to get someone. Once you get into the snake section, you're really just kind of trying to hang on. And honestly, when I was in those sections, when he was behind me, it's just a question of holding onto the car and making sure you don't mess up more than anything. As long as you can get those two spots really good, then, you can usually keep someone behind you. Same, he was doing that for a long time. And I think going up the hill, he made a little bit of a bobble going out. And it was a little slower, and I just got enough momentum. And I mean, it was tight. I was side by side with him, but he gave up the space, which was great. So yeah, it's tough. You just got to be super patient, and then really just be consistent and hang on to the car through the twisty bits.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matthew, I want to thank you so much for putting on, I'm going to say it, I apologize, YouTube chat, a hell of a show between you and Edgar, and that was an amazing race to watch between you two, and we hope to see you guys do it next week again.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
All right, absolutely. Have a great night, Matthew.
You too.
That was Matthew Guzenda, the winner of the AM class. Just an unbelievable race. And we do have Edgar Sancinelli. Alex, I'm going to let you take this one away. Yeah, just go ahead.
All right, Edgar Sancinelli, you're up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. It was a great race from you tonight. What was going through your head there as you were battling with Guzenda throughout pretty much that entire race?
Oh man, it was tough. He had some great defending. I saw a couple areas where I might have been able to do something, but just keep driving through these tires every week and need to kind of get that under control. But man, it was quite a battle there. Good job to him. He did a great job there.
All right. And I want to ask something specifically about the last couple of corners from the Dipper down to Murray's Corner. The last lap, that entire last section, you were able to get just to Guzenda. You were able to get right up to him through Murray's Corner, turn 23. Couldn't do it on exit. What was happening down there through that entire last section?
Honestly, what wound up happening was that I was ahead of Matthew earlier, but then came up on some lap traffic. I think it was Jay Little, and I was trying to get my way around there. And when I was following, it's so hard to see around these Mustangs. So I wound up brushing the wall with my right front, and I think that kind of took some of my straightaway speed away. So I tried to keep up, but even in the draft, I couldn't do much. So then trying to late brake, and they just wasn't enough for those corners.
Yeah, but even despite that, a great race from you today. Anybody you want to thank for being able to do that?
Yeah, I want to give a big thanks to Aeronam. He's been helping me out a ton, man. It's always fun driving with him. And I want to give a shout out to Joe Ellen and Michael Key over in Wisconsin, and my family and friends. And you guys for putting this together with Randall here. It's a great series.
All right, well, that's all I got. Unless, Adam, you got anything for him?
Yeah, I do. I have one thing, and I want to thank you, Edgar, for putting on, and I told Matthew this as well, a hell of a show, man. Absolutely awesome. Great broadcasting for us, and you make our jobs a whole lot easier up here with the kind of battling you guys did tonight. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for doing this, guys. Can't wait to see the broadcast.
All right, absolutely. That was Edgar Sancinelli, second in class. We did have Desmond Floyd in the interview waiting booth. We lost him. I know it's getting late. I apologize, brother. We'll try to get you, maybe if Randall can pull some strings, we'll get him in there for maybe a quality interview next week. But nonetheless, Alex, I mean, come on, man. What a race.
We watched an absolute clinic tonight. Just fantastic battles all the way around the circuit. It's pretty tight racetrack. You wouldn't expect to see cars really racing too close, especially when you see races that usually come here like the Bathurst 1000. You don't see a lot of cars that come here and are able to run this close for an extended period of time. So a fantastic race from everybody in this field. Just great racing up front, great racing all throughout the pack. So I give a round of applause to everybody that was able to race tonight. And just fantastic race we were able to watch here.
It absolutely was. Well, we do have one more here, so we'll actually have to pull him in real quick. I'm going to hold my thoughts. We have Aeronam here. He decided to join second place in the pro class. Alex, take it away, my man.
Aeronam, you did all you could, man. It ended up just short second place. You're battling Matt Malone, a really clean all race, despite a little bit of contact in turns 21 and 22. What was going through your mind that whole race, man?
We always end up fighting pretty hard with Matt, and I think we had 2-3 seconds to the leader, so none of us wanted to give up, so I don't know.
Yeah, and just obviously might be just a little bit upsetting to come up just short after a fantastic season so far, but one question I want to ask, even though it might be a little bit hurtful. Do you think if you worked with Matt there down these straightaways, if you guys bump drafted together, stayed with each other in the corners, do you think you would have been able to catch back up to Radosavage to try and make a move for that lead?
Yeah, but definitely I was, I think, half a second faster alone, but it's so big draft here, and also Matt is not going to just let me drive ahead, although he told me that he wanted to work together, but I didn't see it in the track, so that's how it went.
Alright, well, obviously a fantastic race from you tonight. Anybody you want to thank for being able to come out here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the admins, the sponsors, and you guys there in the booth.
Thank you, but that's all I got, unless Adam, you got anything for him?
No, I think we're good, Eero. Thanks for showing up a little late to the party, man. Glad to get an interview from you, and we hope to see you next week.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, that was Aeronam, second place in class for the pro division. Let's try this again, Alex. My thoughts of this race. absolutely just unbelievable racing throughout the whole field. I know it's extremely tough to try to catch everything, and I apologize, guys, if we did miss anything. But, man, I am so glad to be a part of this series and so glad that Randall decided to take us on. And, you know, I hope we get to stick with him for quite a while because the racing here between some of the series that Slow Motion Broadcast covers throughout the week, I couldn't ask for a better beginning or a better start to the broadcasting career for Slow Motion.
Yeah, definitely. We were able to watch a fantastic race. Great job from everybody all around involved in this. Just fantastic from what we were able to witness today. So I also hope I can get to stick with AMS in the future and get to do some more of these races. This one was absolutely fantastic.
It was, and you guys got to think. So we do have Nürburgring coming up as well. So if you thought this was fun, you just hold on to your hats because Nürburgring's going to be a blast as well. But with that being said, my name is Adam Thompson, joined by Alex Anderson. This was Slow Motion Broadcasting's coverage of the American Muscle Series, Race 9. We will see you next week, and you all have a great night.